Hey there, Josh Binswanger with you in the FX apartment watching World League of American Football. As you can tell, today's action ran a little bit longer than anticipated, so we now join our regularly scheduled program already in progress.
Last weekend, the World League season kicked off in dramatic fashion in Barcelona. The Dragons in Amsterdam went to overtime before this Terry Wilburn touchdown gave the home team a thrilling 34-27 win. Meanwhile, in London, Scotland stormed back from a 21-7 halftime deficit to tie the game in regulation. Then in OT, Paul McCallum's field goal lifted the Claymores to a 3-point win. Today, a pair of unbeatens meet in Scotland. A cold, rainy day in Edinburgh, Scotland. We're at Murray Field for the World League of American Football. The Scottish Claymores entertaining the Barcelona Dragons. And a pleasant good afternoon, everybody. Alongside Ron Pitts, I'm Tom Brenneman. Glad to have you with us. Barcelona, thrilling game last weekend, Ronnie, and they're led by maybe the league's best quarterback in Kelly Holcomb.
Yeah, well, you know, Jack McNeil said last night that this kid has all the tools to play in the NFL. He's tough, he's smart, he can throw the deep ball, put it on the money. He did that last week. Then you got to remember, though, Tom, this is only his second professional game. He needs to get off to a good start. Best way to do that is to protect him up front.
As far as Scotland is concerned, they're led by a familiar name in the States, former UCLA star wide receiver Sean LaChapelle.
Sean is in this league because he needs to show to the scouts back home that he has the ability to make the big play like he did at UCLA. He did a little of that last week, 7 catches over 150 yards. But I think the key for this game for the Claymores is to get Saron Stacy in the game, get him in the game early. That'll help everything else gel.
All right, when we come back, Scotland and Barcelona from Edinburgh. The kickoff is next.
Today's game is brought to you by Budweiser, proud sponsor of football wherever it's played. This Bud's for you. And by McDonald's. Have you had your break today? And by AT&T, official sponsor of the 1996 U.S. Olympic team.
Field, Edinburgh, Scotland, and the Claymores kick it away. Barcelona receiving. Marvin Marshall takes a kickoff, crosses at 20, and he is dragged down at the 26 by Herman Carroll, and that's where the Barcelona Dragons, winners 34-27 in overtime a week ago, will put it in play. Led by 22-year-old quarterback Kelly Holcomb, as you see allocated by the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, figures he has a chance to compete for the number 2 job behind Trent Dilfer going into this coming season. Holcomb, a graduate of Middle Tennessee State, coming off a marvelous outing last week. 4 touchdowns, 420 yards passing. And Holcomb comes out throwing in this one. And overthrows the intended receiver, Bryce Burnett.
Nice hit that time by Williams coming out of the position safety.
There you see the backfield and the wide receivers. Charles Thompson, we'll talk more about him later, the former Oklahoma quarterback. Alfonso Browning, a man to keep an eye on, along with Demetrius Davis, the all-time leader in World League history in terms of receiving yards. Second and 10 for Barcelona. The give is to Thompson. And the ball comes loose. And it looks as though the Claymores have recovered, and they have. James Fuller delivered the hit that jarred the football loose. And Ty Parton, allocated by Cincinnati, falls on top.
A great hole you can see right here. He's got a ton of room to run. He gets tripped to here, and watch the hit. That's questionable as to whether he was down on the ground before that ball came out. It's kind of hard to see from that angle, but the referee standing right there, and he did not hesitate to make the call.
So now quarterback Steve Matthews, allocated by the Kansas City Chiefs, will take over first and 10 at the 31. Sean LaChapelle in motion, and Matthews comes out throwing. Drops it off to the tight end Aaron Bennett, and he's dragged down by Eric Napolsky after a gain of close to 8. Talked about Matthews, allocated by Kansas City, and last week a tough first game. 2 touchdowns, intercepted 4 times.
And the thing I remember about that last game is that he called 3 timeouts in the first quarter, blew them all. He just had some problems. It was all new to him. First time back in a game in a long time. He hopes to have a better start, of course, today.
This time they go on the ground to Saran Stacy. And he's dropped for a loss of 1. It'll bring up 3rd down and 2. Stacy, the leading ground gainer in all the World League a season ago out of Alabama, joined by Ron Dickerson in the backfield. We talked about La Chapelle. Scott Cooper, a national player, and the tight end is Willie Tate. So now 3rd and 2 for the Claymores. Matthews will take it himself, and very close to first down yardage, met head on by the middle linebacker Rick Hamilton out of Central Florida. And will it be enough to move the chains?
Matthews knew exactly the amount of yardage he needed. He did this last week. He put his head down. I know that Kreiner would like to see him get down on the ground a little bit sooner. He takes a hit right here.
They'll bring out the sticks for a measurement to see if Matthews was able to get first down yardage. And he did. So 1st and 10. Ball spotted just inside the 21. Well, Ronnie mentioned the name Jim Kreiner in his 2nd year. 56-year-old native of West Yellowstone, Montana. Coached collegiately at Iowa State and won a 1AA title in 1980 while with Boise State. Stacy maybe picked up a yard. Stopped by Jose Simon, the right defensive tackle. Offensive line for Scotland, 4 allocated players in Bart, Zeno, Hunt, and Wagner. Bierman, the odd man out. It's a good group.
Yeah, and Tom Bryant, watch him. He is the best run blocker on this line. If Saran Stacy's going to try to pick up yards, look for him to run right over here to pick up the yards.
2nd and 9. Dickerson in motion, and Matthews to throw. In trouble. And goes up top, just throws it away. It's something, Lonnie, he didn't do a week ago, but you brought up. He hadn't had many snaps since getting out of college.
Well, like you said in the meeting the other day, there's so much pressure on the quarterback in this end of the field. He knows he's got a good chance to get 3 points. He makes a smart throw there. And unlike last week, he threw that ball right in the center of the field. If you're going to throw it away, make sure you throw it completely away.
See the defensive front for Barcelona. Klein, the former Miami star, joined by Stewart and Edwards in the middle, and Josh Heinrich, allocated by the Detroit Lions at the left defensive end. So 3rd and 9. Matthews drops it off to Dickerson out of the backfield, and Mike Middleton drags him down shy of the first down. So to bring up 4th, and the field goal unit will come out for the Scottish Claymore.
Yeah, I'm convinced Jim Kreiner played it safe there. After last week, with the way that Steve Matthews threw up the interceptions, we're going to toss this one out to the flat, get what you can get, and let's line ourselves up for a field goal.
Paul McCallum booted a 27-yarder in overtime last week, the difference in the win over London. Ball spotted at the 24, 34-yard field goal try, and he bangs it through. So after the early Barcelona turnover, the Claymores convert. And here in the opening quarter, Jim Kreiner's team a 3-0 lead.
Punch back and put your head out of it.
Oh, you talking about
You get, no, I'm talking about on the field goal.
Oh, on the field goal?
Yeah.
Kreiner giving Randy Bierman, the left tackle, some instruction on that field goal protection. Yeah, you talk about some of the key things to look for from Barcelona. First of all, Demetrius Davis. What a game last week. 9 receptions. He leads the league right now for receiving yards. Multiple formations on offense. Look for 1 back sets, 2 tight ends, all that kind of stuff, and a very quick tempoed offense as well. And I think, as we said in the open, if they can protect Kelly Holcomb, he'll have a chance to do some good things. Jack McNeil, he loves him. He's got the skills, he's got the tools. to make the throws. He's a tough guy. He's a smart guy. He got hit a lot early, thrown off of his rhythm, but later on he got into it, and he used Demetrius Davis to get back into it.
So a few things to keep an eye on as this game rolls ahead. Hastings bangs it away. And on the far side, and bringing it out close to the 30-yard line is Marvin Marshall. So Barcelona, its second possession, will put it in play. Barcelona along the offensive front, one allocated player from the Oakland Raiders, a left guard, Tom Robsock. But they do have some guys with some experience along that offensive front.
The guys you want to look at, 79 Louis Age, protecting that left side, the blind side of the quarterback in pass protection.
Charles Thompson, the lone setback, and he gets the handoff and is caught from behind. Terrific tackle made by number 59, David Webb, out of Southern Cal. Defensively for the Claymores, we talked about Ty Parton playing left defensive tackle. He has played the last 3 seasons under David Shula and the Cincinnati Bengals. And many believe he's the best defensive lineman in the World League this year.
Absolutely. You want to watch him today. Quick penetration inside, what they call the A-gap, pressure in the quarterback's face right away.
That's Davis in motion. And they're saying it's an incomplete pass. That the forward motion had already started the right arm of Kelly Holcomb.
If his arm is in motion, that is considered an incomplete pass. Troy Ridgely coming around from the outside in that tackle position. Keep a careful eye to the top of your screen. That's the blind side. We talked about that earlier. He doesn't even see that. Here's a better look. He's right inside there working on Robsock. He beats him outside with a quick move. That's why they talk about defensive linemen having to have quick hands. Beating the offensive lineman's punch move.
Brings up a 3rd and 11 for Holcomb and the Dragons. Across the middle and first down yardage. As it goes all the way out to the 46-yard line, and there's your man.
There he is, Demetrius Davis. And we talked to the Claymores defensively yesterday about how they would cover this man, whether it would be a 2-deep situation, a double coverage situation. You know, they said they would play a lot of 2-deep, which means the middle of the field would be wide open, and that's exactly where he caught that ball. They can't let him off the line that easy. They're going to have to bother him in the intermediate area, bump him coming off the line.
Holcomb drops it off out of the backfield to Thompson, and he gets sandwiched between Webb and also number 54, the middle backer, Mark Shander. Good linebacking group here for the Claymores. Waldron getting a start this week, and Arnold Ale, of course, out of UCLA on the outside.
Shannon Jones is injured, so Mark Sander, the veteran inside, he's going to move outside where he originally played. And I'll tell you what, all 3 of these guys fly around. That's part of that Braveheart defense.
Not much room for Thompson trying to get the ground game started. Tripped up by Ty Parton after a 1-yard gain. What do you think of this secondary? Duckett, the only allocated player out of New Orleans.
George Coghill, you'll see him a lot in the 8-man front if Barcelona tries to run, but you'll also see him involved in the coverage man-to-man of Demetrius Davis. They feel he's strong enough to take on the run and good enough as far as the coverage man to cover the pass.
3rd and 10. Davis again, the man, breaks a couple of tackles and makes his way into Claymore's territory to the 41. Another first down for Barcelona.
Underneath drag routes, this was the most dangerous part, the most dangerous thing that Demetrius Davis did. There he is right now, 88. See, nobody's there. He's got the complete underneath part of the field. Now he does the smart thing. Turns it upfield, north and south, get your yards, move the chains.
Davis, we mentioned already, yardage-wise, the all-time leader in World League history, has a chance, the way his day has started, to become the all-time receptions leader in World League play. There's his 3rd catch, and he picks up about 3. But Davis, an interesting story, Ronnie, a young man who came out of Nevada, had a chance immediately to go to camp with the Raiders, but no NFL games. And the head coach last night, Jack Bicknell, was telling us he believes if an NFL team took a chance on this guy, he could help a team right now. He's that good.
Yeah, that's true. But all too often you see guys that have had past injuries like he's had, going all the way back to grade school. And he says when he goes into camps, they bring up the old files, the old medical records. Instead of giving the guy a chance under the helmet, see what he does production-wise instead of looking at the medical record.
Thompson slips a tackle down to the 37, tripped up by Ridgely, so it'll bring up third down for Jack Bicknell. He's been in Barcelona
Double
since
right.
1990, has won more games in
860 Y
other World League
double right.
coach.
860 Y.
What did Bicknell say the other day? He said that was the worst first quarter of football I've seen in my entire career. They went the whole first quarter and didn't have a yard gain on offense.
3rd and 6. Holcomb, far side, reception made by Marvin Marshall, but it depends on the spot of the ball as to whether or not he got a first down, covered by James Williams.
Notice the tempo. We talked about that a bit earlier. They're working so fast. The ball is out 1, 2, 3. There it is. And it's hard to cover these type of routes. I mean, you see the defenders are there once the ball is caught, but you just can't break up that timing. The pass rush can't get there that soon. Look for some blitzing to start coming now from the Claymores.
And Marshall able to convert on yet another third down. 3 big third down conversions, Ron, on this drive.
Well, that's one of the things that they did well last week. They had almost 71% third down conversion throughout the game. That's unheard of. The league leader will be in the high 30s. To have 71% is unreal. That's impressive. The kid is moving the chains, moving the team up the field.
So 1st and 10 at the Claymores 32. Holcomb able to complete yet another pass out of the backfield to Charles Thompson, bumped out of bounds at the 28. A gain of 4, Forey Duckett on the coverage.
I don't know if you've noticed it, but the intensity that both teams are flying around with right now is incredible. The pass is caught, but look at the pursuit. He takes 3 steps and already he's running laterally. That's what you want to do on defense. React, read quickly, and make tackles.
Well, some know the story of Charles Thompson, a former second-team All-American quarterback at Oklahoma. Ran into trouble with the law as Holcomb just throws it away. And then Thompson transferred to Central State in Ohio and finished his career quite well. In fact, Jack Bicknell was telling us that Charles Thompson, an absolute model citizen ever since he has joined this Barcelona team.
Yeah, there becomes a point in time when a guy gets rid of his baggage, and exactly what you said, Tom Brenneman, a model player, a guy that everybody on the team looks up to. You start to wonder at what point will people look at him and judge him based on his strict athletic ability.
Well, we have a flag down prior to this 3rd and 7. And this may be delay a game against Barcelona.
Nope. The offense, number 62, 5 yards from the previous spot, 3rd down.
Tom Robsack, one of the allocated players, allocated from the Raiders, was on the practice squad. And how often have we seen this? Guys on the practice squad all of last year or the year before too have never even played in a pro game. This is their first pro experience.
3rd and long for the Dragons. Can they convert again? Up top, an open receiver in the end zone and broken up at the last moment by David Wilson. He had an eye on Sammy Alalampe, who had an 87-yard touchdown reception last week.
This is called 4 vertical. They see 2 deep. Everybody's in man-to-man coverage. Now it's a sprint. The ball is underthrown. Wilson is actually beat, and it's interference.
Yep.
He comes across, locks his hands. Hey, if they don't see it, it's all fair in love and war.
Intended receiver, rather, was Kenny Shedd.
Hey! We're gonna go back to that.
So now it'll be kicking time for Barcelona, trying to hang it up there, but well into the end zone off the foot of Shane Edge. So with 3:37 to play here in the opening quarter, Scotland a 3-0 lead, and Jackson County not like the lack of floor. Back in Edinburgh, Scotland, where the home team, the Claymores, lead Barcelona 3-0. Steve Matthews and company, their second possession. 1st and 10 at the 20. Stacy cuts it off to the right side, dragged down by Tim Watson, who came up from a strong safety spot to drag him down.
I think some of the things you got to look for from this Scotland team, La Chapelle, great week last week. That's the kind of numbers he put up at UCLA, that big production. Brave, hard defense. Look for guys like Ty Parton down inside the defensive line. Mark Sander, we talked about him. George Coghill, strong safety, going to be very important in stopping Demetrius Davis. And the man that just carried the ball, too, has got to get off to a good start, Saran Stacy.
2nd down and 8. And Matthews, out of the backfield, drops it off to Stacy, and he breaks a couple of tackles, about a yard shy of first down yardage. Mike Middleton finally able to wrap him up and take him down.
Led the league in rushing last year. The guy, he's one of those guys that the more he touches the ball, the more happens. He produces, and when he goes, the team sees him go, and then they start to go. That time, a little screen pass, and he breaks it back inside, always finding a way to pick up extra yards.
Stacy drafted in the 2nd round by Philadelphia back in '92, but no feelers since, despite great World League numbers. He takes the pitch and gets the first down. Needing 2, he got 3.
Nice block that time by Ron Dickerson. He came on the lead play. He was able to get just enough to help Stacy get the first down. Toss to the right. Now watch 23. The block right there. Eric Naposki, just enough to allow Saran to get in for extra yards. Well, you know, you had the feeling talking to Jim Kreiner the other day that he knew he had to get Saran Stacy into this game. And that helped a struggling quarterback in Steve Matthews.
Through the hands of the intended receiver. So to bring up 2nd down and 10.
One thing this team is going to have to do is, you see Matthews closing his ears so he can hear the quarterback, the coach communication device. They're going to have to handle the blitz. They got killed last week against London with the blitz. And Barcelona is even more active up front than London is. They got to handle that. The backs have to be aware of all the pickups and all the checks, like one right now.
Hamilton showing blitz. He doesn't come after all. Matthews escapes trouble, slings to a wide open tight end, Willie Tate, first down, and leaping into the air, a somersault out of bounds at the 40.
A good ad lib by Matthews. One of the things he does well, he has a sense of knowing where people are at. You can call it guts, you can call it awareness, whatever. And now Tate, all of a sudden, he thinks he's about 20 pounds lighter and can vertical about 42 inches.
And Michael Wright springing him into the air. Tate allocated by Kansas City. First down at the 42 of Barcelona. And met in the backfield is Stacy and thrown to the turf by Vince Stewart.
Vince Stewart, that's part of that rotation that Barcelona goes through. Thigpen there, he's involved on the tackle. They will rotate their 4 down linemen constantly, so everybody's fresh. See, nobody even blocks Vince Stewart right there. Well, those are the ways you want to make plays. Untouched.
Loss of 5, second, we'll call it 4, 2nd and 14. So that is a final play of the opening quarter. Jim Kreiner, Scottish Claymores in their home opener in front of Barcelona, 3-0. Scotland leading 3-0 as we open the second quarter. On a 2nd and 14, Matthews in trouble, somehow escapes and is still dropped after picking up maybe 2. Rick Hamilton coming up to make the tackle.
That's the rush of the Dragons. Josh Heinrich on the outside, Edwards, Simone, Krein, they're all in there creating a problem for Steve Matthews. And you look at Steve Matthews, now, here's a guy out, has not played in a game in 2.5 years, finally gets his chance here. So many things are happening so quickly to him, like he told us last week. He just doesn't have a hold of everything. It's just, he's got to take the reps and get used to seeing people come at him full speed.
Well, they came that time with a blitz on a 3rd down and 12, and he was just able to get it off before he took a lick from Vince Stewart. So the Claymores will have to punt it away, leading 3-0.
That's a problem we're going to have to get worked out immediately. They've got to figure out a way to handle Barcelona's blitz. Whether they do it with a safety that comes in, whether they drop a linebacker out and rush an extra defensive lineman on that side, it's being very effective.
Marvin Marshall standing back at his own 10-yard line on the Paul McCallum punt. And then it takes a Barcelona bounce and is finally downed right at the 20-yard line. So 13:50 to play. Well, hold on a second. A flag down on the play. And will they make him punt it again?
That's a false start, a legal procedure. Someone moved early for the Claymores.
Illegal formation on the kicking team, only 6 men on the line of scrimmage. This penalty has been refused. First down.
Yeah, you got to have 7 men on the line of scrimmage.
Left, 7 zone.
So we'll
call.
Take a break before Barcelona takes over. 1st and 10 from the 20.
American football facts. In the world, the overtime period does not become sudden death until each team has had a possession. Hey, World League, this bud's for you.
Well, Scotland in the home blue, Barcelona the green, scarlet, and yellow. And both of these teams come in after having picked up overtime wins in the opening week last Saturday. Play fake to Thompson. The ball batted into the air. And Davis, a former basketball star, able to go up and pull down the rebound, but no gain. So it'll bring up 3rd and long for the Dragons.
Yeah, he posted up inside and got that rebound on that one. See, this is why Davis is so effective. Here he's going to fake the block. And he's going to allow himself to be tossed, now go out for a pass. How do you defend that? I mean, that's like classic West Coast offense style stuff, you know.
I guess you defend it by batting the ball up into the air.
You defend it with a pass rush.
3rd and 10. Holcomb in trouble and then fires across the middle, and it's picked off. David Wilson, who got away with an interference ball in the end zone, gets his first interception of the season at the 37-yard line.
He's going to get on the scramble here. It looks like it goes right through the fingertips of Alphonse Browning. And it does. Just a little high. Good awareness by Wilson. Somebody upstairs likes Wilson today. He got away with that interference call, and now he gets a pick. He must be living right.
Wilson out of California, his first pickoff. So now 1st and 10. Claymores converted on the first Barcelona turnover of the game into 3 points. And now Stacy breaks a couple of tackles and carries down to the 33, a yard shy of the first down, tripped up by Kenny Gales.
Working on that left side. You got Randy Bierman and Tom Barnes. As we said, Barnes, 71, the best run blocking offensive lineman they have. If they're going to run the ball, they're going to run it over his side. And fun, you look at this offensive line, 4 of the 5 starters are allocated players. I mean, they have a home to go to. They have NFL experience, some more than others, but they do know what it's like to be out there in the real deal.
Second down, less than 2. And out of the I formation. Again, it's Stacy, first down yardage. And he carries down to the 25.
Sometimes you can take yourself right out of the play. 92, Josh Heinrich coming on the upfield rush. He doesn't have to be blocked. He takes himself right out of the play. And you can't give Saran Stacy that kind of room. Wagner right there. See, he doesn't even have to really block him. He just takes himself right on out of the play.
Scotland leading 3-0. Matthews drops it off. Dangerous pass. Reception made and then escaping a tackle. Garrett Kayahalo out of Missouri Southern. Free agent, signed last year with Houston and then was cut very early in camp.
And once again, they're a little bit better on the protection, but still, there's somebody in Matthews' face. But that's good awareness. Dump off to your safety valve, quick throw, and get what you can.
Call it a gain of 2, so 2nd and 8. And again out of the eye, it's Stacy. Close to first down yardage. As he's down to the 16. Hamilton and Aposky there on the stop, but not before Stacy gets close to 6.
Yeah, you got who you consider to be your best run blocker in Barn on one side, but then on the other side, don't forget about Purvis Hunt, number 79, 6'4", 383. Nobody touches Saran Stacy until he's 5 yards down, and you know what? That ball is fumbled. They recovered it. Good awareness there.
3rd down and 1. The pitch to Stacy. First down to the 9 before being tackled by Tim Watson.
One thing that Saran Stacy does that I like, he's a great runner in terms of balance and acceleration, but watch here the way he follows his blockers. Knowing exactly when to accelerate, which way to cut, and he's always falling forward for that extra yardage. I would be very surprised if he didn't have a look in somebody's camp this year. It's about time that Saran Stacy got a shot to help somebody, because I think he can.
Well, they go to the first man through. Kayahalo, and he gets a couple of yards as it's inside the 10. 1st and goal for the Claymore. Steve Matthews moving his team down the field, already leading 3-0.
And I don't expect Jim Kreiner to put this ball in the air. If he does put it in the air, he's going to make relatively safe throws, meaning out to the perimeter short or in the corners of the end zone. He knows he's got a chance to get 3. And that's what he wants to do, at least.
He's in trouble here. Broke the first tackle, but cannot escape the arms of number 91, linebacker Kevin O'Brien.
The rule here in the World League is you can only blitz 3 to a side, but you don't know what 3 that's going to be. Sometimes it's a safety, sometimes it's a linebacker, D-line. That time, it looked as though Wagner just got beat inside on a good rip move. Hamilton's sitting inside. He's not even coming. See, there's a switch up. He usually blitzes. He ducks inside, then falls back out, and it really messes up the protection scheme.
3rd and long for Matthews. And he throws wide open into the end zone. Touchdown, La Chapelle.
The same kind of pressure on the outside, but watch the way Matthews says, okay, I'll just step up in this pocket. Great protection by Hunt inside and spots the open man on the run. And I'll tell you, the fact that he's left-handed, Tom, that ball comes out of there kind of screwy. The defense isn't used to looking at that and doesn't understand that he can release that ball running that direction from a sidearm fashion.
Don La Chapelle, the former UCLA star, has given Scotland a 10-0 lead. Here with 8:18 to play until halftime, trailing Scotland 10-0. And turnovers certainly have been the key for Jack Bicknell's team. A fumble early on led to 3 points for the Claymores, and that was followed by the Holcomb interception, which led to a touchdown.
It's kind of deja vu all over again for Bicknell, except the weather's a little colder this time.
Gavin Hastings boots it away. And this is Marvin Marshall. Tackled at the 28. Let's go back to the touchdown to Sean LaChapelle a moment ago.
We talked about Matthews being left-handed. Appreciate the way he's on the move, rolling, but kind of sidearms this thing out. And you talk about a go-to guy. LaChapelle has been it. And this is discipline here. Hamilton knows that he's got to stay back. He gets a little antsy. And that's why you got to have a quarterback that can ad-lib on you. But Matthews has his comfort zone right now in LaChapelle.
Well, Holcomb last week didn't get started really until the second half, and now the ball is loose. And it looks like Barcelona is able to keep possession. That was nearly the third turnover for the Dragons in a quarter and a half.
Ty Parton inside.
Playing soft, so you've got to really haul ass. Play side's got to really haul ass.
When you see 56 up.
Shut up. If, like for example, if he gets out to the one end and the guy skates, then you settle inside to protect him for anybody else coming. Okay?
Now we're
If he
able to
gets
mic
a whack, then
coaches here in World League play and bring you some of the things that go on behind the sideline over near the bench as Charles Thompson is dropped for a gain of maybe a yard.
3 bust or 53, yeah, 53 bust. I think it was. Be sure you're good and tight on those seals now, okay? As you're on the thing is on a 53 bust. It looks like the guy was splitting the seam. Yes.
You see him tell that one guy to shut up? Lesson, never talk while the coach is talking. Bottom line. Not if you want to get paid on Monday.
Flags down before a 3rd and 12 for Barcelona. Nothing going the Dragons' way here in the first half, and a false start will move them back.
5-yard previous spot. 3rd down.
Chuck Bradley, the right offensive tackle, he moved early.
Beaver right.
Both teams have
960
complained.
Speedy London. Come on, babe, make a play.
Boy, that's it. That's good stuff there. Make the play, baby. They need a play. He's right. You need a play. You're deep in your own territory. 3rd down. You need a play.
Have to get all the way to the 38 for a first down. Open receiver right at the 38. And the reception is made by Shed. And now they're saying it hit the ground, that he trapped the ball. And Shed is hot. Fires a helmet over by the Dragons sideline.
Yeah, he better be careful. He's going to get tossed. They better calm him down. And he may have indeed caught that ball. Whenever you see guys get that upset. Good awareness by Shed. He's going to come down and work right beyond the marker. Let's see if he catches the ball, though. That's a catch. That's a catch, and he has every right to throw his helmet and get upset.
Hey, Barcelona has every right to wonder about playing on the road this week. The interference call that was not made in the end zone.
Yeah.
And now a clear reception by Shed that doesn't go the Dragons' way. Fair catch made at the 34 by Lee Gissendaner. And Shed has good reason to be bent out of shape. So we'll take a break. Scotland leading 10-0. Barcelona on the road trailing Scotland 10-0 here at Murray Field on a cold, damp day in Edinburgh, Scotland. So the Claymores take over 1st and 10, starting this drive from their own 35. Saran Stacy, another big hole, and that's something they're doing this week they didn't do a week ago, and that's run the ball.
Yeah, and that's done to keep the pressure off of one guy, and that's Steve Matthews. You can't put a guy out there full speed when he's been out of the game, hasn't played for 2.5 years, and expect him to work miracles.
Matthews, 6 of 9 and a touchdown.
Exactly, but you notice when he does have to throw, he does seem more comfortable than he did last week.
Stacy again, and nowhere to run this time. Caught by number 93, Demetrius Edwards. Well, we told you last weekend, if you weren't with us, a few key rule differences from the National Football League. Field goal to 50 or more yards, you get 4 points. Only need 1 foot in bounds for a pass completion. The defense can get a couple of points if they block and then return an extra point attempt. And if the game seems like it moves faster, there's a reason. 35-second clock, 3rd down and 5. Matthews to the air. steps up, open receiver, and the catch is made by Dickerson. Steps out of bounds, first down at the 47.
What the Claymores are doing that's effective, the play action. Look what it's doing up front. It freezes the pass rush. And they've got Josh Heinrich to go outside every time. Basically, he's taking himself out of the play. He's the problem guy for them up front. Good awareness by Dickerson, knowing exactly where the marker is and exactly where he's got to go to get the first down.
So Matthews now 7 of 10 in the game. And he'll throw on first down. Good protection. Did he get it? Yes. Catch made by LaChapelle at the 47-yard line.
Yeah, you talk about Matthews. Here's a guy that when he left Memphis University, he had broken his leg on a quarterback sneak. Went to the Kansas City Chiefs, stayed on their practice roster for 2.5 years. He said he practiced a total of 3 days, 3 weeks the whole time. It's amazing he's even able to come out and complete a ball at all, I think.
Stacey got head on by Mike Middleton, the first man there, had help from Darren Klein. Maybe a yard short of the first down, so 3rd and a yard. Well, Stacey told us yesterday, after being a second-round pick by Philadelphia, as we mentioned in '92, that he had a few personal problems coming out of Alabama. Star-studded career with the Crimson Tide. But many of those personal problems well behind him, and Ron Pitts mentioned earlier, we'll see if he gets a shot in the NFL. 3rd and 2. And the pitch to Stacey. Cuts it back. First down to the 43.
I tell you, Stacey does this all on his own. They come with the blitz once again, top of your screen, but watch the avoidance. See, just those quick, subtle moves, always has his feet underneath him. That's what you call yards after contact. That's one thing that scouts look at a lot. How many yards does a guy make after he's first been touched? That time I count 2 tackles. Then he breaks to go on and get the first down.
Well, an injury down on the field for the Dragons. Can't quite tell from here who that is. Well, we were talking about Saran Stacey and his days at Alabama. Certainly an all-purpose back, playing under Gene Stallings.
And the first thing you notice when you talk to Saran is that he is very happy about playing football, strictly playing football. You figure these guys will come over here for not a lot of money, and it's right in the middle of the hardcore gearing up period for NFL teams. The draft today, mini camp starting, practices starting, installation of the playbook. And most of these guys, including him, they seem to be able to focus on the task at hand. And I think that's a credit to them.
Ricky Sutton, the injured player for Barcelona, and he's helped off the field. But Stacey, a first down run. Dragons trail. The Scottish Claymores 10-0, and the Claymores again on the move at the Barcelona 44. Matthews up top, first down, looking down the field, and broken up. He had an eye on LaChapelle, defended by number 29, Kenny Gales.
If there's one rap on LaChapelle, it's that it doesn't have great speed downfield. That time Wright is able to just hang on the outside shoulder. No safety at all inside to help him. He comes over the top, makes a play. By the way, great job of protection. One of the allocated players from the Redskins, Wagner, just taking and dominating his man. Had an interesting conversation with Jim Hannafin, the offensive line coach at the Redskins. Very, very complimentary on Wagner's performance. Expecting an awful lot from this coming season.
Big Pen drops Stacey for maybe a yard. So it'll bring up 3rd down and 10. Claymores, a number of allocated players offensively. Talked about the offensive line, Zeno, Tate, and Barnt, along with LaChapelle and Matthews of the Chiefs. Third down and 10. Matthews. Good protection. Steps up. Guns over the middle, and it's intercepted by Gale. Gale's crossing the 15 out to the 20. And he'll be stopped at the 22-yard line. So the first turnover today by the Claymores. And with 1:53 left, we'll find out if Barcelona can do anything after the turnover.
LaChapelle comes down. He should continue inside and continue back to the quarterback. You're going to see him stop right here. And see, the fact that he doesn't come back to the quarterback enables Gale to step right front and get an easy step.
10-0 Scotland leading Barcelona. Less than 2 minutes to play until halftime. Kelly Holcomb, a slow start. Now 8 of 14, but a big pickup here on the completion to Bryce Burnett.
Once again, another shallow route to the tight end. Poor tackling. Sander misses there. Corey Duckett, he doesn't even get a chance to contain outside. Ends up being a nice pickup for the Dragons.
Well, the Barcelona offense threw 34 points on the board last week, blank so far here today. And on the near side, reception made by Alfonso Browning, good enough for an 8-yard gain. Browning allocated by the Washington Redskins. Spent the 94-95 seasons on the San Francisco 49ers practice squad. Big target.
It's funny, he's got a Super Bowl ring, too, with the 49ers as a free agent back in '94. But you remember, one of the things that he's got to go into this year with the Redskins, he's got guys like Michael Westbrook, up-and-coming guy to contend with. Henry Ellert, big-time veteran.
First down, close to midfield, again to Burnett. Mark Sander on the coverage and the tackle. So the ball in midfield and the clock ticking under a minute and a half to play until halftime.
One thing you'll see from Barcelona is that they'll go up to the line of scrimmage and they'll count. If they see 6 or less people in between the 2 tackles on defense, they'll run the ball, figuring you're outflanked. If they see 7 or more, they're going to pass it.
Well, they're throwing here with under 2 to play until halftime. And did he come down in bounds? No. Terrific catch.
And all that is off right now because they're behind and they need to put this ball in the air. And this is really a test of Kelly Holcomb. His team is behind, but he was behind last week and he was in some adverse situation and he came out of it. It's funny, you talk to him and he's kind of got that old slow southern drawl and he doesn't really seem to get too excited about anything. But everybody I talk to, they said, don't let that fool you. The guy is a fierce competitor and I believe he is.
2nd and 10 in midfield after the catch by Shem was out of bounds. Flags down on the play, dropped off across the middle to Demetrius Davis. He has first down yardage to the 37, but again a penalty flag down on the play, and this might come back.
Looked like David Webb or someone on this right side for the Claymores jumped a little early.
Good job. Yes.
Talking to the team captains there.
Offside against the defense. The penalty has been refused. Charge timeout to Barcelona, their first team timeout.
Now, we talked about right from the outset the amazing accomplishments in World League play of Demetrius Davis out of Nevada, and that is updated. 122 career receptions, 4 away from tying the all-time World League record held by Judd Garrett. Davis already the career leader in pass reception yards and never been given a chance by an NFL team. And that's not to say, he'd go over to the States and be a big star. But this guy can catch the ball, runs great patterns, and everyone you talk to, from Casey Weldon a year ago to Kelly Holcomb this year to head coach Jack Bicknell will tell you he thinks he could play in the NFL right now.
The only knock I've heard on Davis is blocking. He could block a little bit better, but I don't buy all that. Because with the way offenses are today, with quick run and shoot styles and West Coast style offenses, the tight end isn't a big blocker anyway. And unless he goes to a team that's strictly smash mouth football where he's got to move people off the line, it's not that big of a deal.
And Ronnie brought it up earlier. It all goes back to a shattered left knee in a motorcycle accident, a moped accident actually, back in his high school days, and it's caused Davis to fail a couple of physicals. of teams that considered bringing him in. Said it started back at the Combine after leaving Nevada. And he said he just can't pass a physical. So here we go, under a minute. The ball is loose. And it appears as though Holcomb got it back. Emmett Waldron there at the bottom of the pile. It's still Barcelona ball, but the clock running now under 47 seconds. They hurry up to the line of scrimmage. Far side. Catch made, and the receiver, did he get out of bounds?
No, he didn't. That clock's running.
Corey Duckett able to keep Browning in bounds, and now we're under 30 seconds.
Well, you talk about his arm strength and whether or not he has it, and some of the skills and techniques that Jack Bicknell liked. Right there, he throws an out route to the opposite side of the field from the other hash mark. That is a very long throw, folks. You only see guys like Joe Montana or John Elway make throws like that have that kind of ability to either make it pinpoint or just have great arm strength.
Trey. Get in there. Get in there. Beaver left. 860 speedy reel.
Want to take a guess at that, Coach Fitz?
You need a first down, Cal. You need a first down.
Yeah, it's a pass, and whoever catches is going to be just beyond the first down marker.
And his name's not Speedy. Jack Bicknell took Boston College for the first time ever to 3 straight postseason bowl appearances. Clock winding down under 25 seconds. It's over the middle, in and out of the hands of Davis, broken up nicely by number 46 Marvin Goodwin, an allocated defensive back from the Green Bay Packers.
Interesting matchup. Now they've put Marvin Goodwin on him, a guy who they've wanted to get more and more playing time here. As you've mentioned, he's come over allocated.
Well, this will be a 52-yard field goal attempt. And again, if this is good by Scott Zaretti, it is worth 4 points. Anything 50 or more yards is worth 4.
He was hitting them in practice, but the snap is bad.
Bad snap. And there to cover up the ball, Mark Sander and John DeWitt meeting.
I don't know if it was a bad snap or a bad hold. Oh, yeah. Zaretti looked like he got the ball down. The snap was bad. You can see it's on the other side of his body, but Zaretti has to double clutch. They've got about 1.3 seconds, believe it or not, to kick that ball. When it's on time, they can usually get it off. The little hitch there, the little hesitation, the extra tenth, Zaretti holds up, and as a result, they lose the whole play.
So now with 16 seconds left, Matthews and company take over, leading 10-0. And he goes up top, wide open. LaChapelle in the middle of the field, inside the 25, and down to the 20. 5 seconds left, clock still going, and a timeout signaled for with 3 seconds remaining.
This is how play action can help you. It'll freeze the linebackers. Not much of it there, but look how shallow the linebackers are. Look at Hamilton. He's so shallow, he should be back another 10 yards. That'll make Matthews have to loft that ball a little bit higher. But great job after the catch by LaChapelle. Poor tackling also.
Well, the field goal unit comes out immediately for Barcelona, or rather for Jim Kleiner's Scottish Claymores. And they're going to send out Paul McCallum, who won the game last week against London with a 27-yard try. This will be a 37-yard field goal attempt. The holder, backup quarterback Terry Card. Clean snap, good hold, and a kick. Yes, sir, more than enough. Yeah, he kicked that ball 60 yards.
That's good for 50 easily. What a way to end the first half. Talk about going in with some momentum.
Everything going the home team's way through the first 30 minutes. The Claymores at halftime in front of Barcelona. 13-0. Along with Ron Pitts, I'm Tom Brenneman. We welcome those of you watching on FX in the United States, along with our entire European audience. 13-0. Jim Kreiner's Scottish Claymores in front of Jack Bicknell's Barcelona Dragons at halftime. Well, while we've been away, Ronnie, the NFL draft, much anticipated, finally underway, and everybody's #1 pick, the wide receiver from Southern Cal, Keyshawn Johnson, taken by the Jets.
I tell you what, I can't say I agree, and you know how I feel about this, about the money that Neil O'Donnell got up there, but I think it's going to be a good combination with a quarterback like that, a guy who has been to the big game, and then a young rookie coming in. They need firepower on the outside. They need it badly. And also Jonathan Ogden, I hear a lot about him, and I know you're saying, I'm saying that just because he's a UCLA guy.
Well, there's no doubt about that.
But they say he is without a doubt the finest offensive lineman to come out of UCLA, and maybe one of the best to come out in a long, long time.
And in 6 through 10, Lawrence Phillips, many believe the best player in the draft, although off-the-field troubles caused him to slip down to #6. How about Phillips now joining Jerome Bettis?
Well, there's only one ball. You know what I'm saying? There's only one ball, and there's 2 egos. So it'll be interesting to see how that one works out.
And then you have 2 Ohio State Buckeyes in the first 10 picks. Terry Glenn, the wide receiver.
Your Buckeyes.
And, of course, Ricky Dudley, the tight end, taken by the Raiders. So we're underway in the second half. And the one area we have seen, Ronnie, that certainly a lot left to be desired, the special teams play from some of these World League teams thus far, early in the season, granted.
Well, for the most part, the Claymore's kickers have turned out okay, even though one thing Jim Kreiner complained about, as we look at the stats here, was that the weather was so bad they couldn't kick outside. He said, I have no idea what's going to happen to our kicking game, but he's been able to escape that one.
Now the Dragons, scoring 34 points last week, slowed down, and the Claymores leading 13-0, get the ball to begin the second half. Matthews, and a leaping catch made near the sideline by Sean LaChapelle, and that's the first down.
There's an advantage to being 6'4", but I tell you what, it's all about timing. 7 steps drop, and the ball is out before LaChapelle makes his break. Look at the way he goes up and gets that ball. That's the kind of thing that LaChapelle has to exhibit over here in this league. He's got to show that he still has control of all facets of the wide receiver game.
Ball at the 49, the pitch to Saran Stacy out of the I formation, turns a corner, slips the tackle, and close to the 41-yard line. A gain of nearly 7 for Stacy, pushed out of bounds by Eric Naposki.
I tell you who helps make this play to get around the outside. Keith Wagner, 78, does a pretty good job of holding his man, but LaChapelle does what they call a stock block. Actually, it's more like a chop block on Tim Watson. Boy, it looks like Watson, he got his knee a little bit. But like we say, demonstrating that you can handle everything. He comes back with a catch. Now he goes ahead and makes a perfect block on the defensive back.
Get out of the eye, and the first man through is Dickerson. Big hole off the left side, and the ball is loose. And it looks like LaChapelle again has come through there to cover up the football after a big gain and another first down to the 20.
I think LaChapelle knows it's draft day. Once again, great hole up in the middle. Tom Barnes, 71, Zeno, 61. It's there. Now here's where the drama starts, the fighting for extra yards. Look at the way he's holding that ball away from his body. And it doesn't take much when you don't have that ball hooked in. Eric Naposki, 95, coming in to make the play.
First and 10 at the 22-yard line. Scotland trying to add to a 13-0 lead. And a pitch to Stacy. He's going nowhere this time, reading that all the way. The defensive end, Darren Prine, out of Miami.
Well, Kreiner, I think Kreiner knew what he had to do today. He knew that he had to get the ball to one guy, and that's Saran Stacy. Last week, Saran Stacy didn't even look like he was part of the game. You know, they never really got him into it, and then they didn't stick with it. That was a mistake they made. They got away with the win, yes, but their bread and butter, what's going to win it for them is Stacy.
Drop it off, and the reception made by Stacy. That is one thing he did very well last week. 6 catches, 52 yards. But on the ground, only 27 yards rushing. It'll bring back a 3rd down and close to 13 for the Claymores. Barcelona needs a stop.
They need a stop, but he has to be happy with the way things have worked out so far. I'm not talking about Jack McNeil. I'm talking about Steve Matthews. He's slowed his tempo down. He's eliminated the dumb throws so far and has kept the ball in the ground.
Inside handoff to Dickerson, well shy of the 1st down, met by Gales and Naposki. Well, this would bring up a very long field goal try by Paul McCallum, and he'll come trotting out onto the field.
Well, whatever you want to say, it wasn't a bad drive. You know, they're down in field goal position, scoring position. And I thought it was interesting when Kreiner told us yesterday that he would let that young man call the plays. He had that much confidence in his ability to understand the game.
Ball spotted at the 30, and the kick is away, and it is good. So McCallum really showing his stuff. Great catch on the bad snap by the holder, Terry Carr. Gets 16-0 Scotland. Gavin Hastings, a former rugby star here in Scotland, puts a foot on it. And Marvin Marshall out on the return for Barcelona, and he's out to the 25. Scotland leading 16-0.
Come on.
Game summary, it's going all Claymore's way thus far.
Well, that's pretty amazing. 0 points allowed the last 4 quarters. You talk about getting better and forgetting bad starts. Steve Matthews also has that defense to thank, along with Sean LaChapelle.
Kelly Holcomb rallied his team in the 2nd half last week. Can he do it again here today? Thrown behind the receiver, but a fine catch and close to a 1st down made by Bryce Burnett. And he's tackled by Coghill, the strong safety, a gain of 7.
This is just great concentration on the ball. You know, you brought it up earlier. Demetrius Davis was a former basketball player. He played basketball all through college. The ability to focus and keep your concentration, I think he gets a lot from that, too. Well, that's Bryce Burnett. He's got a great ability to do that, too.
Absolutely. And a handoff to Charles Thompson. And he slips his way to the 36. Close to a 1st down. And it looks like he got it.
You got to think things are going to be, you got to think Kelly Holcomb's got a pretty good chance, though, when he goes back to Tampa Bay. You figure the jury is still very much out on the quarterback situation there. Casey Weldon was over here last year. He went back early because he wasn't real happy with the way things were going and wanted to make sure he had a spot.
Burnett again, the reception out to the 43 to gain of 5. Waldron and Sander converge on the tackle. Of course, we had a chance to do a game or two of the Buccaneers last year, Ronnie, and Trent Dilfer in his first full year getting a chance to play really struggled.
Well, I would guess to say that with Sam Weiss gone now, that Dilfer better have a good year, because I think that it's easy to point at the coach and say, well, the coaching wasn't together, but now there really isn't that excuse.
Right through the hands of Alfonso Browning. He had beaten James Williams on the coverage, but couldn't hang on. Perfectly thrown ball by Holcomb.
Perfect ball, nice strip move coming down on a tackle by Williams.
Well, a few of the scores around the World League from yesterday. Amsterdam getting its first win. Ryan fired 0-2. And the defending champion Frankfurt Galaxy beat up on London in front of 35,000. 3rd and 5. Open receiver. And the catch is made. This will go for 6. Kenny Shedd into the end zone, and Barcelona on the board. It appeared, Ronnie, as though the ball was underthrown, but Shedd came back to get it.
Yeah, it was underthrown. Shedd had Corey Duckett beat down the field by about a good 3 yards, but he came back and caught the ball anyway. And so now here, you know, you're going to get beat sometimes as a defensive back. Corey Duckett has to make the play. He's got to make the tackle. The catch is one thing. Not making a tackle is another thing. Talking to scouts about what Foray Duckett needed to work on being over here. They just said a lot of things, and that's one of them right there. Man-to-man coverage and tackling.
Zaretti tacks on the extra point, so now Barcelona climbing back in it. Midway through the third, 16-7 Scotland. Barcelona trailing 16-7. And Marcus Thomas fields the kickoff. And he brings it out to the 35.
Back to the touchdown. Foray Duckett, watch his left leg. He just hits Kenny Shedd's leg. It puts him down. In that situation, an underthrown ball is tough. But that's why you stay on that upfield and you keep that upfield arm around the receiver. Worst comes to worst, you can always make a tackle. It's better than this. Good concentration by Shedd.
57 yards later, a touchdown, and Barcelona trailing by. This is batted ball into the air, and the reception is made by Willie Tate, the tight end.
Defensive coaches will tell you that bad things happen to them when balls get tipped as opposed to good things. And they're right. Toposky 95 makes the tip. Tate's coming on the other side of the field running his route. He sees the ball. And things are going your way. They're going your way.
Ball at the 42. And a give very short gain by Dickerson. Shot made by Stewart.
Gets into that world-class fishing. In fact, he fished world-class professionally for a few years.
Fly fishing up Montana way.
Montana way.
Oh, shit, they got wags from me.
And a flag down on the field before that play ever got started.
Yeah, well, he said he loves it up in that part of the country. Had a
5-yard penalty from the previous spot. Second down.
That's 78 Wagner, the right tackle. Anyway, he said he loves it up in that part of the country. In fact, they had a couple shops, a couple fishing supply shops. But he said they had to sell them. Things just got too hectic as he got back into football again full time.
Oh, we got somebody for all that.
So they back him up 5, a 2nd and 14, and Matthews drops to throw. Good protection down the middle of the field, and it's broken up. Was it intercepted? No, are they saying he made the catch? You gotta be kidding. Yo Murphy all the way at the 5. That is well, you see it right there, Jack McNeil. Even if you saw it, you don't believe it.
And how about Steve Matthews? Everything he throws up is a reception in between two defenders, and somehow Yo Murphy just comes down with the ball. Great concentration on the ball.
Right through the hands of Michael Wright. So now 1st and goal, the ball at the 5. What a play that was. And the pitch to Stacy. Tries to cut it back and maybe picks up 2. Go back to that play a moment ago. I still can't believe it.
For all intents and purposes, this ball should be knocked away at least. But look he's got good protection. He can get a beat on his man. The ball's up in the air. That shows you where and how quarterbacks throw to a spot. But Crooms should have an interception. Yo Murphy, great concentration on the football. His real name is Llewellyn. His sister could never say Llewellyn, so she'd just say Yo, so that's how he got the name Yo Murphy. Whatever
2nd
works.
and goal from the 3. Stacy denied the end zone. And again, number 53, Rick Hamilton, joined by Darren Crime. 3rd and goal upcoming.
Boy, it's just been all good for the Claymore's offense today. Once again, they're back inside the 20. What the offense calls the green zone, what the defense calls the red zone, for good reason.
Well, the Claymore is going to spend a timeout. Steve Matthews trotting over to talk things over with Jim Kreiner.
No, we haven't worked on it. All right. Is that power O? Field goal jump already? Yeah. They got a 27 power O.
Michael, don't let him go in.
That's a run play inside. Watch him pass it on me. Boy, how about those numbers for Matthews? It's amazing what a week can do for you. But, you know, I told people, I tried to tell everybody, he made some good throws last week. Nobody wanted to listen to me after those 3 timeouts in the first quarter.
Yeah,
I can understand that.
I was one of them.
You were one of them, thank you. I was hoping you'd say that.
Well, you're not going to take credit for that throw a moment ago, are you, to Yo Murphy?
Well, it is counted as a reception on the stat sheet, isn't it, pal?
And completion. Well, 3rd and goal.
It's amazing that this team, the Claymores, have only returned 12 people from last year. I tell you, free agency affects this league just like it does the NFL. It's new guys all over.
That's what I mean. Why?
And their biggest change has been in the offensive line. But if you look at that offensive line, 4 of those 5 guys are allocated. They have experience. Barnt, Lance Zeno inside. Spent some time with the Rams. Signed as a free agent with Cleveland, originally 92. Purvis Hunt, free agent with Houston in 94. Spent some time down there. Keith Wagner, we talked about him. Allocated by the Redskins.
Well, they have to get the job done here. It's 3rd and goal. The ball resting just outside the 3. LaChapelle in motion to give to Stacy. Touchdown, Claymore.
Well, we know he can run outside. We know he can dance, but he can be tough when he has to. He didn't have to be tough very long, and that ball's in the air. It doesn't matter. It looked as though he crossed the plane. But if you're going to run the ball, who would you rather run over? A guy that's 383, a guy that's 308? I'll take my chances going over both those guys. That's a lot of beef, pal.
And the extra point just barely able to sneak through. A penalty flag, however, down on the play. And we'll see.
defense, score the extra point. 5-yard penalty will be assessed on the kickoff.
So the Claymores extend their lead behind power football from Saran Stacy. Big day for Saran Stacy. Claymores in front 23-7. Charles Thompson on the return, and he carries out to the 28-yard line. Let's go back to the touchdown of Saran Stacy. Very likable young man.
Coming at you, Purvis Hunt on that side, Wagner, but then they bring over Tom Barnt to add a little extra weight to the situation. And when you see all those blue shirts in the end zone, you know somebody's been moved.
You know, we brought up some of the personal off-the-field problems Stacy may have encountered back in his college days at Alabama. That's 4 years ago.
Yeah.
And you can be fooled sometimes, but what a very delightful, young, engaging young guy that we talked to yesterday, Saran Stacy, hoping to keep his NFL aspirations alive. Charles Thompson, the reception, picks up close to 5.
You're right. The thing I'm most impressed with is it's not easy business coming over here right in the middle of an off season, especially on a day like today when you know that the college players are being drafted, coming in to fill spots that probably should be yours or that you would hope would be yours. And really, in a sense, you can get the feeling very easily that no one cares and no one's paying attention to you from a pro scout perspective, which is completely not the case because those tapes go back there.
Oh, just overthrown is Alfonso Browning. Holcomb had him open.
There we go. You look at Alfonso Browning, and I get the look and I get the feeling of a guy who's just about to break out and make that big play, but it's always a step away. Here, Holcomb has him and just overthrows him. Coghill is actually beat. Corey Duckett chasing from the backside again.
Third down, facing Barcelona, trailing 23-7. Holcomb hangs in the pocket and misses a wide open Demetrius Davis. Boy, this Scotland defense has by and large taken Demetrius Davis out of the game.
And I think they're doing it with a good combination of over and under coverage, and they bother him on the line of scrimmage to throw off his timing. I think that ball is just a little outside and high, though. He might have had a shot to get that one. You can see he's upset about it. And now Holcomb, you can get the sense that he's starting to press a little bit too. 2 overthrows consecutively. He's trying to make something happen. Well, he should.
Line drive punt. It may have hit a Claymore. And we'll wait to find out from the officials. And the ball going back the other way. Let's see. Mike Middleton has it, carries into the end zone. And I guess it is going to be Barcelona ball. They're going to blow it dead at the 27-yard line.
Now they're talking about it. See, that would be another huge break for Barcelona.
It looked like it hit James Fuller.
The kicking team, first down, Barcelona.
Another huge break for the Dragons. We saw it earlier, the play with Kenny Shedd. Watch the ball hit. It looked as though it hit number 20, James Fuller. I didn't see it hit Fuller from that angle. It didn't look like it hit Fuller.
So a big break for Barcelona. Nonetheless, the ball is spotted inside the 30-yard line. Thompson picks up.
But you know, teams will do that in desperation when they need the ball. If it gets close, special teams coaches say, hey, everybody get the ball. Make it. It might have hit him on the foot right there. Right before the ball hit. I don't know. It's hard to say. But if it even looked like it might have hit him, do just what the Dragons are doing right now. Create the illusion that it hit him.
It must have hit him right before it came down for the first bounce. Holcomb in trouble. And he's picked off.
He might go.
George Coghill.
Great
and he
play.
steps out of bounds as it's intercepted. So just like that, the Dragons give it right back away.
Rich Faquir makes a great play. Number 67, the offensive lineman. The play action, look what it does to the blue shirts. He's got time here, except for Webb in his face, and then he just throws one away. That was the kind of throws that Matthews made last week for the Claymores. And he got rocked after he threw this ball, too. Ooh. That's like the shot that Troy Aikman took from Wilbur Marshall a couple years ago underneath the chin. You can tell he's feeling it.
Got his bell rung by David Webb, linebacker out of Southern Cal.
Let's see if we see any crown of the helmet action here. Yeah, that is an illegal hit. He led and drove with the crown of his helmet, the top part of his helmet. He should have been flagged for it. Back in the States, he would have been flagged for it. And or if fined.
Matthews, a quick hitter to LaChapelle, tries to cut back the other way. And he's tripped up, getting back 5 yards, so it'll bring back 3rd and long. Alexander on the tackle. We talked about the World League of American Football almost doubling the numbers of players allocated by NFL teams last year. This league is owned and operated by the NFL and Fox Television. Third and 8 for Matthews. Good protection. Has LaChapelle. And no flag down. LaChapelle came back to get the ball and ran into Tim Watson.
It looked as though LaChapelle made contact with Watson. Watson has a right to his territory, his ground. Let's watch 21. He'll be inside.
Number 68.
Boy, that's iffy. Because I'll tell you, Watson was smart. He went ahead and pushed into LaChapelle at the last minute. The referee standing back there looking at it.
So now to punt it away is McCallum, who's had a great day all around, kicking field goals, and now a terrific punt.
Uh-oh, he's got a little bit of a wall.
Marshall trying to turn the corner and tripped up at the 20-yard line.
Kelly Holcomb, we talked about him from Tampa Bay. Marvin Marshall.
Jeremy Burkett unavailable today due to an ankle injury. It's been a tough day for Zaretti and Edge, the kicker and punter.
Rob Sock from Oakland. They think that he can be an outstanding run blocker. They want him to work on his pass protection, and that's one of the reasons he's over here. They feel he's far along as he needs to be run blocking, but the pass is a whole nother deal.
Well, it appears as though the hit taken by Kelly Holcomb has shaken him up enough to prompt Jack McDell to make a change at quarterback. Former Penn State star Tony Sacca.
Not Sammy. Where are receivers?
And you see the first freshman ever to start a game at quarterback under Joe Paterno in the Nittany Lions. In fact, Penn State's all-time leading.
All right, what do you got?
He was actually drafted into the World League last year.
960 Speedy Rio. Let's go, baby.
Played 5 games last year.
What do you got?
Most of his playing time came in the second half of the season as a result of injuries. A second-round pick for Arizona back in '92. Well, that just shows you, you know, you got guys that high-round picks sometimes that just don't pan out. You know, back in the States, yesterday and today, there's going to be a load of guys that are probably going to get a ton of money because they're first, second-round pick, but that doesn't mean they're going to pan out. They can go to those combines and they can measure how high a guy can jump, how fast he can run, and how much he can bench press, but they can't measure his heart, and they don't know how he's going to react to pressure situations all the time.
See the numbers on Kelly Holcomb, a disappointing day after firing for 420 yards, a franchise record, along with also the Dragons team record 4 touchdowns. But he took a shot from David Webb, the last ball he threw, which was intercepted, and is taken out of the game.
You got to talk about maturity, too. This is another reason that this league is good. Holcomb, second youngest player on the team, 22 years old. That's awful young to go over and try to get a starting job in NFL. I mean, you think about all the pressures and all the distractions and all the negatives that you have to face.
Well, we'll see what Tony Sacca can do with this Barcelona offense, which has been limited to just 7 points in almost 3 quarters. 23-7 Claymore. Sacca comes out throwing. Steps up. Throws into coverage. And the ball is batted down by Shannon Jones.
Sacca put a little heat on that ball. He fired that nicely. They're trying to run and throw the dig route, an inside route, lots of traffic, hardest route to throw because of it. Jones, the linebacker, Jones got to catch that ball. A UCLA guy would have caught that ball.
And Jones just happens to be out of guess where? Southern Cal, where the #1 pick in the draft came out of, I might add.
Yeah. Let's get back to the game.
And early movement. Blows the play dead with less than 35 seconds to play until the half, or rather till the end of the third quarter.
See, now you got a new quarterback in the game, so it's going to take a while.
On the defense, 5-yard penalty. Repeat, second down.
It's going to take a while for everybody to get used to the new quarterback. The first problem is going to be the center. Getting used to the snap count and having different hands underneath you. Everybody else has to get used to his rhythm. They're used to how Matthews goes on maybe hut 1 or 2. Now this guy might come in a whole new different rhythm.
Back to throw, and down he goes. Mark Sander, the blitzing linebacker. The first man there, Ty Parton, joined in late.
Sander right in front of you there, 54. He's dropping back. The outside, that's Coghill, 34. He comes in on the outside strong safety blitz. They haven't shown that. That's something new, a new twist.
That's the end of the third quarter.
Well, that'll be the final play of the third quarter. And nothing going Barcelona's way here in Edinburgh. 23-7 in favor of the Claymores.
And brought to you by Budweiser, official sponsor of the 1996 Olympic Games. This Bud's for you. And by Arudis KT, the potent medicine for pain. And by AT&T, official sponsor of the 1996 U.S. Olympic team.
Receiver Alfonso Browning, and again Barcelona has to punt.
Boy, that's a serious comeback they tried to run there. Go back to Holcomb. He tries to get something jump-started, but I think it's the same old song and dance. All the heat is coming on the outside, forces him to step up.
51 declares himself.
But he really has no place to throw the football. Good coverage downfield for a Duckett. Should have caught the ball, too. That might help.
Right at the stick. That would have been a first down. Getting off a good punt this time is Edge. As soon as he made the catch, Gissendaner is dropped, but good field position coming up for the Claymores, beginning at their own 37. Gales getting downfield to make the stop. Now the Claymores, you figure, Ron, would like to chew up a little bit of time, leading by 16. See what they've done in terms of total yards today. Saran Stacy, and he carries up to the 40, a gain of 3. Well, part of each and every World League of American Football game around the stadium, what is called the Power Party, kind of exposing all of Europe to American football, and it appears to be a big hit. You see a lot of this, Ron, Super Bowl time back in the States.
Yeah, they call it the NFL experience. Same kind of deal.
Tate, the tight end, in motion on a 2nd and 7 for Matthews. Steps away from danger, looks downfield, fires, and there's LaChapelle again. To the 35. And a flag down behind the line of scrimmage. They may bring this one back.
Boy, what a throw by Matthews, though. I mean, he gets that little half rollout going, and he can really put some zip on the ball.
Any time now, fellas, on the verdict here. Saw one official over there with almost like a headset.
Illegal participation. There was no international player on the offensive team. 5-yard penalty from the previous spot.
Well, one of the rules, you have to have a national
Repeat,
player.
second down.
Yeah, you have to alternate.
He was in the last series. Hey, no! Last series
And
was
the
the
argument is
national
every other
series.
drive, and he's saying we had one in the last series, the last drive with the ball.
And we had the same kind of drama last week in Frankfurt with Ernie Stoutner, and now they're going to check the rule.
Charge team timeout. They're second.
And there's 2 interpretations of the rule. One says you have to have a national player on the field every other series. Another rule says it has to be 1 and 2 series, then you stop for another 2 series, and you go back on for another 2 series. And that's a problem. That's 2 weeks in a row. Now, they need to get this cleared up. And, you know, the rule is really good. It gives national players and then people at home a chance, people in the stands a chance to see national players play and get them some experience. But apparently, there's a misinterpretation of the rule difference.
I know you guys don't have anything to do. You can't talk to him.
Well, while we're sorting some of this out, for those of you watching here in Europe, looking ahead to next week's games and where you can find out about ticket information. A big gain taken away on the pass play, Matthews to La Chapelle.
That's not the end.
Well, of course, here in Scotland, one of the most famous golf courses in all the world, St. Andrews. I'm fresh off my course record, 62.
Yeah.
And we'll be there tomorrow.
Yeah, there's going to be some broken clubs on that course.
I'll be breaking hearts rather than breaking clubs.
Yeah.
Along with our producer, Keith Pelly. Yeah. And not wanting to be a part of all the fun, our director, Ken Fouts. And, of course, my partner, Ron Pitts.
All I got to say is get the divot repair kit out.
Oh, I don't even need one of those.
They'll keep running the damn ball.
That's right. They will keep running the ball. You don't stop them.
Matthews drops it off to Dickerson out of the backfield. He gets 5 yards back. It'll bring up third and about 8.
Now, see, that's a huge penalty because Claymore's in a position now. They got to run the football. They don't need to pass. They get put back because of that national penalty, and now they got to go back to the pass.
And Saran Stacy on the reception there, rather than Dickerson. .13 to play. Scotland with the ball, leading 23-7, and Matthews wisely throws it away. Boy, what a difference a week makes. Matthews just threw that ball into the air a week ago and was intercepted 4 times.
Well, he made some throws last week that I had to hit the rewind on the VCR a couple times to understand. He just let it go. But like he said, things were happening very fast.
91.
And that's what happens when you haven't played in a while.
Eligible.
It seems like things are going double time on you.
Dropping back to punt, Paul McCallum, and waiting on the punt, Marvin Marshall. And it will take a Scotland roll all the way down to the 20. So Barcelona going to try and get things in gear, trailing the Claymores 23-7. First play from scrimmage, Barcelona taking over an early movement along the defensive front of Scotland. Claymores on defense in the home blue uniforms, leading Barcelona 23-7. Kelly Holcomb knocked out of the game for a series on a hard hit from linebacker David Webb. Back in there now, trying to rally his team. Got an eye on Terry Wilburn. It'll bring up 2nd and 5.
To talk about some of the things that have made this Claymore team better on defense this year, Ray Wilsey, probably best known, defensive coordinator with the Raiders for a lot of years, from 78 to 88.
Well, he got a World Bowl ring last year as a defensive coordinator for Frankfurt.
Yeah, he's got 2 World Bowl rings, 2 Grey Cup rings from coaching in Canada, 2 Super Bowl rings from the NFL. How many people have that?
He's running out of fingers now. Burnett makes a catch out of the backfield, shy of the first down, it looks like, which would bring up 3rd down.
It's funny, you talk about guys here to achieve certain things. Marvin Goodwin, a perfect example. Ron Wolf with the Green Bay Packers called Ray Wilsey and said, I want you to take this kid Goodwin, and I want you to make sure that he knows how to play safety. Ray Wilsey has had some great safeties, Atkins, Tatum, Colsey, Mike Davis. He said if Wilsey can't get him to play safety, nobody can.
3rd and a yard and stopped on a terrific play made by the outside linebacker Shannon Jones, the USC Trojan.
He got nicked up a little bit last week. They didn't even know if he was going to play today. They come with an option, just digging out of the barrel, trying to find anything. Nobody blocks Jones. Makes a nice play, holding perimeter contained. Very nice.
51, declared eligible.
So with under 11 minutes to go, Barcelona again has to punt. Gissendaner will take it from the 30. And a 9-yard return out to the 39. Emmett Waldron, the first man down. Or rather, Tommy Thigpen. A little extracurricular stuff going on at the far side, near side of the field.
Yeah, Kenny Shedd was getting a facial by James Fuller on the 50. 50-yard makeover.
Well, we don't see a penalty flag down anywhere. Although you wouldn't know it by the conference here. Scotland has been in front all the way, converting a couple of early Dragon turnovers into a field goal and a touchdown for a 10-0 lead. Went to 16-0 before Barcelona struck on a 57-yard pass. Holcomb to Shedd, making it 16-7. But then after an interception by Holcomb, Saran Stacy carried in on 3rd and goal, 23-7 Scotland.
Holding against the kicking team. This penalty has been refused. We have unsportsmanlike conduct against the receiving team. 15-yard penalty to be measured at the end of the kick. First down.
Yeah, that'll be the little fisticuffs there with James Fuller, number 20. He roughed up Kenny Shedd pretty good there.
First down, he said.
Well, now they'll move him back from the 39 all the way back to the 24. Steve Matthews has had a terrific day after. Now, he got a win last week, but we've brought it up many, many times. Intercepted 4 times.
Yeah.
But not today.
I still say the difference was the run game. They got the run game going. They got it going early with Stacy. And now Barcelona, who's very aggressive in their front seven, really doesn't know what to expect.
Well, they continue to throw with a 16-point lead. And what a bullet thrown right in there. Reception made by Stacy out of the backfield.
He's actually a 7th-round pick, as you mentioned earlier, out of Memphis State at the time it was called, now Memphis University.
Guess who that is making the catch? He did it a lot last year.
Let me guess, Isaac Bruce.
You get it.
Yeah, that's it.
That's it. Isaac Bruce, Memphis State Tiger, now known as Ron mentioned, the University of Memphis.
But you know, it's funny, left-handers give you problems, and you look over the left-handers that have been great in the NFL, guys like Stabler. Everything is going opposite the way the defense is used to looking at. The play actions are all different. And for a receiver, the spin of the ball is different. You know, you just can't. So when this guy gets hurt, or if he ever goes out, now you've got adjustment problems. Your new receivers, they come in and they've got to adjust a different ball. Spinning the other way. It's like catching a left-hander's punt from a right-hander's punt.
3rd down and 5. And the lefty throws too high. I had an eye on Yo Murphy. 3 and out for the Claymores. Of course, the most noted left-hander right now in the NFL, Steve Young.
Steve Young, yeah. And then worse with that situation is that they're always doing the bootlegs. And you put together a good athlete like that and the speed, it's really hard to defend. I don't understand why all the passing there. In command of the game pretty much. Why not run the ball some more? That can only get you in trouble, punting out of your own territory.
Low line drive, and Marshall's going to let it drop in front of him. And it'll be down at the 37 by James Williams. And Barcelona trailing by 16, beginning to run out of time. 9:06 left to play. 9:06 to play, Murray Field in Edinburgh, Scotland. Barcelona with the ball trailing 23-7. Holcomb drops it off out of the backfield. Reception is made by Terry Wilburn. Steps out of bounds after getting more than enough for a first down. And there's a Playmore injured all the way back at the 40. And that might be, well, you don't want to say for sure. It looks like Ty Parton.
Yeah, it's Ty Parton. Hard to say what happened to him, but I'll tell you what, there was an awful lot of holding going on in that offensive line on that play.
Parton, an interesting story. 93 to 95, over 30 games he's played for the Cincinnati Bengals. The Bengals didn't ask him to be an allocated player. He went to the Bengals and said to owner Mike Brown and coach David Shula, said, look, I need some more reps and need to get some more work, and I'll volunteer to come over here on my own.
Yeah, Marvin Goodwin was the guy that did the same thing. I mean, the instructions came from Ron Wolf to get him over here too, but they were going to give him a choice because they also wanted him to learn the defense back in Green Bay. He wanted to come over because he had sat idle for so long. The only knock I've heard on Parton is that he's a little bit light in the defensive line position. He goes about 6'4", 265, 270 on a good day. But this is a guy who looks good getting off the bus, as they say. A guy that can stand out there and is pretty well cut up. Tall, lean kind of guy at defensive line like you want. That can get his hands up. He'll be to the right of your screen. Right there, the double team. And then he gets knocked together with another man. See, right there, you can see his knee tuck in just a little bit. Got feet tangled up.
And he did not put any weight on that right knee coming off the field. Hopefully it'll be all right. Boy, did Holcomb take a shot and delivers right on the money to Browning down to the 36.
This is what they're talking about. They say that Holcomb can take a hit and get back up. Well, he took one there and got back up. Joe O'Brien, number 90, does the honors on that one.
Boy, did he get smoked. Wow. Now Barcelona trying to get back in the game with 8:12 to go. Looked like early movement against the Dragon offensive line.
Well, that seems to be the thing these days. If you're a
false start, number 63 on the offense, 5-yard penalty from the previous spot, first down.
Getting back to what I was saying, that seems to be the thing these days, now more than ever, but good defenses have always lived by it. You've got to dirty the quarterback's uniform and dirty it early. They've taken some hits at Holcomb early today, and I think it's paid off.
Holcomb again down as he throws, but he's able to complete the pass all the way down.
He's still
the 20.
He's getting up slower and slower. This time he looked like he's heading toward the sidelines. Nope. I mean, you're allowed one full step. That time he just got his leg rolled up on.
Boy,
Ridgely.
Well, we heard it from the head coach, Jack Ticknell. He said, this guy is one tough customer, Kelly Holcomb, and he'll stay in there. And the catch is made over the middle, down to the 11-yard line. So all of of a sudden, as Demetrius Davis falls in the first down catch, Barcelona trying to get back there.
That looks like that's his right leg. And now that's going to have an effect on how he throws that ball, of course.
First down and 10 from the 11. Play fake. Holcomb hit again as he throws, this time to Davis, and he maybe gained a yard.
I think Holcomb needs to get out of the game. Because, see, they tried to run a bootleg that time. Semi-rollout. He was late getting out there. Because he's late getting out there, the defense now converges on Demetrius Davis and holds it to a short gain. But if you're Kelly Holcomb and you know you got to go back and face Trent Dilfer and Casey Weldon to get a spot somewhere on that roster, you're going to do exactly what he's doing, stay in the game.
Closing in on 6 minutes left. Holcomb drops it off over the middle. Catch is made and trying to extend his Marshall, and they're going to see the ball is down. He just kind of reached out trying to get the first down marker.
The runner was ruled down on the ground. Third down. Third down.
Ray Wilsey is known for his man-to-man defense, but I think they called off the dogs here a little bit and played a lot of zone. He's clearly down on that play. He's going to make Holcomb work for everything he gets right now. A lot of pressure on the quarterback in this end of the field. I don't care if you're an MVP or a guy just starting out getting some experience in the World League.
Third and close to 4. Touchdown across the middle. And it goes to Bryce Burnett. And with an extra point, it would make it a 23-14 game.
And the game is not over yet. Same thing they've been doing the last 5 or 6 plays. Working the zone. Sander coming in with a nice effort inside. Holcomb doing a good job of not being distracted. Burnett doing an excellent job of finding the open hole in the zone, setting down, and a good delivery by Holcomb.
And they will go for 2.
They have to. They have to.
5:23 left to play. Holcomb just throws it up top. And no, knocked out of the hands of Burnett by Coghill. So the 2-point conversion fails. Scotland 23, Barcelona 13, 5:19 left to go. And while we were away, Barcelona down 10 with just very little time remaining was going to set up the onside kick, prompting Scotland to call a timeout to get their hands people out onto the field.
Yeah, they just had the regular guys, a bunch of offensive linemen up front. You know, this all goes back to the series before last that the Claymores had, where they went 3 straight passes. They had a problem with the quarterback communication device. They were trying to tell Steve Matthews to run the football. He couldn't hear it, and he called passes in the huddle. They didn't run any time off the clock. Now the Dragons are still in the game as a result.
Well, there's what happens when you have Ivan Imbernin, a 6'2",
free kick out of bounds on an onside attempt to try. 5-yard penalty. We will
perform an onside kick.
But see, that's the thing. You have to, as rule, you have to have a national kickoff. Okay. I don't think Ivan is going to be your best onside kicker. So that's why I question, do you even try to onside it?
Well, earlier in the game, of course, you had Paul Cole in national.
Yeah, I mean, maybe he can onside better.
Well, they're going to kick it again. And now it is Cole who comes out to do the kicking.
If you're going to do all that switching, why don't they just line up in it? I don't understand that. You might just kick this one away.
Yep. Marcus Thomas crosses the 35, the 40, and out to the 43. Only 4:25 left to go.
I would be shocked if Jim Kreiner doesn't run the football now, regardless of whatever the communication problems they had the series before, they've got to run at least 3 minutes off this clock right now. Even if they just run a play, wait the full time, the full 35 in the huddle, and run another play.
Well, they
cannot afford to go 3 and out.
Well, the luxury they have is with a 2-point conversion failing a moment ago. Barcelona needs the ball twice.
Right.
To even minimum tie the game.
Right. That's why I say running is key here. So therefore, I think you can look for some 8-man front, some blitzing going on from Barcelona, anything to make a play, get the ball.
Matthews has had a very good day.
Was erroneously started after the first free kick out of bounds. We'd like the game clock operator to reset the game clock to 5:01. 5:01.
The clock was started, and yeah, see, more time came off than should have been. They started that clock right after the first onside kick. Corey Duckett there. You know, he does a little modeling in the offseason. Did you know that? Back in the States? I could do some modeling.
Much like yourself. You're a part-time movie star, the big release Birdcage, out on the film circuit right now. One Ron Pitts.
Charge timeout.
A sports anchor.
Barcelona.
Barcelona burning a timeout, stopping the clock with 4:52 remaining. Well, the Claymore fans certainly have endured the elements today. Cold, damp, a little bit windy, but nevertheless, their team appears as though will get off to a 2-0 start. And it's very important in the World League of American Football to get out of the gates quickly. Reason being, at the end, it's a 10-week season, but at the end of 5 weeks, the best record determines then the playoff picture.
Right.
And home field advantage and so on and so forth. So both coaches telling us, Jim Kreiner for the Claymores and then Jack Bicknell on the other side, that they really wanted this win to get out at 2-0.
Right.
Well, if you're just joining us a little bit earlier, we showed you the first 5 picks in yesterday's NFL draft. Keyshawn Johnson, Southern Cal Trojan, taken by the New York Jets to join new quarterback Neil O'Donnell. Then Hardy and Rice out of Illinois go to Jacksonville and Arizona. And there you see the second 5. Lawrence Phillips to St. Louis. Cincinnati getting Auburn offensive tackle Willie Anderson. They're hoping he can turn out to be a similar type of player to our old buddy Anthony Munoz, who appeared in 10 Pro Bowls. That might be
It's going to be hard. It's going to be real hard. Boy, nobody dominated that corner like he did.
I might be shortchanging him. It might be 11. Matthews guns over the middle. Catch is made by the tight end, Willie Tate.
Boy, that's gutsy. That's gutsy.
Down.
You know, Kreiner's got a lot of confidence in his passing game right now. And he's got a lot of confidence in the quarterback.
How many timeouts do they have left? 1. And we got 2? Yes, sir. Thank you.
But there's something to be said about that. If something's working, and it's relatively safe to do it in terms of passing the football, boy, I still say run that ball. Run some time off the clock.
And they listen to you, Coach Pitts. Saran Stacy spins away from one tackler, gets inside the 40. Barcelona only 1 timeout remaining. And we're down to the 4-minute mark.
Jim Kreiner told us last night that not only, and obviously, is Saran Stacy their best rusher, but he's also their best blocker. They were talking about, remember he went to the chalkboard and was showing us how they would pick up certain blitzes from Barcelona. And I thought for sure that they would flip-flop backs and use Dickerson to pick up the blitzes. We say, no, we'll use Stacy. He's our best blocker.
Stacy met head on this time by Jose Simon. Loss of a yard. It'll bring up a 3rd and 6.
Charge timeout, Barcelona.
And the final timeout.
Their third final team timeout.
Of the half, or rather the game. Final timeout used. And Stacy slow to get up.
Well, you know you've been racked up when your chin strap is now serving as a mouthpiece. And you're looking out the ear hole of your helmet. Of course, Josh Heinrich, probably their best all-around defensive lineman. You know, he's got to go back to Detroit now. And he's got some people there like Henry Thomas and Robert Porcher and Luther Ellis to contend with.
Well, they like Luther Ellis, their #1 pick a year ago.
Yeah. And you know the guy running the show there is John Tierling, who came from Minnesota, the defensive line coach. He had guys like Dolman. Back in the day, he had guys like Keith Millard. And he likes those big, long, tall, linky defensive linemen. You know, he likes to teach them to get their hands up. That's why he puts them on the defense left side. For right-handed quarterbacks, they have to look through that before they make throws. That's the project. That kid is a Tierling project.
Well, the project coming into this one for Jim Kreiner was to get out of the gate at 2-0 this season. And his big offensive line has given Steve Matthews enough time to throw or scramble around, and just enough running yards from Saran Stacy. By no means a huge game. But as you brought up, Ronnie, they didn't have any run game at all last week when Stacy had 15 carries for 27 yards. And the run game, what little bit more they've had today, has opened up the pass.
And that's key, what you just said, because of a couple series ago, when we went to commercial, that you saw Jim Kreiner pull to the side Big Keith Wagner. I believe it was after a sack or a hit and a fumble, whatever, and he got in his face. And he said, listen, you got to pull it together. You got to get better. And that's what this league is about. Guys coming over to get better. You see coaches really coaching over here. You see it up close and personal.
Well, this is pretty much the game. Any hopes of coming back rest on this 3rd down and 5 for Barcelona. They have to come up with a stop. And they send the blitz. Matthews throws behind, but a flag is down. It'll be interference against Barcelona's.
And Chris Crooms, he better watch out. That's right. Covered on the play, but Chris Crooms, he's giving the official an earful over there, or a mouthful, whatever you want to call it.
Pass interference against the defense, number 20. Ball will be spotted at the spot of the foul. 1st down.
Michael Wright is tight on LaChapelle, but it looked like he climbed up on him right there. He made contact.
Well, Barcelona now out of timeouts. 3:23 left to go, trailing by 10. And barring a miracle, you can phone this one in. First man through, Ron Dickerson. Scored by Kevin O'Brien, but not before a 6-yard gain.
Ron's got a little football in his blood. The name Ron Dickerson sounds familiar. Ron Dickerson Sr., head coach at Temple.
And again, a look ahead to next week's games. And for those of you, our European audience watching today, ticket hotlines in London, Amsterdam, Scotland, Barcelona, Frankfurt, Germany. You will be in Dusseldorf, Germany. At least our crew will be in Dusseldorf, Germany. Stacy stopped in the backfield, but the clock will continue to run. So carry is just shy of a 2-minute warning.
It's funny when we asked Jim Kreiner to grade himself out on last week's performance, he said, well, I don't usually make grades that low, but we won the game.
We'll still punt it from
And that's the bottom line. They won the game.
Not taking a chance. Yeah.
Not taking any chance. He said they'll punt it here if it comes down.
Wow. Well, they'll get off the play just in front of the 2-minute warning. They pitch on a 3rd down to Stacy, and he'll be stopped shy of the 1st down by Tim Watson. So we have reached the 2-minute warning, 1:57 to be precise.
clock
A
is correct,
10-point
1:57.
Scotland lead. Scotland going to punt it away with a 10-point lead and 1:57 left. Nearly blocked. And that ball will, oh, did he get it? Oh, and then right back into the end zone, so they'll bring it out to the 20. James Fuller down there. And Paul McCallum, and Jim Kreiner was telling us yesterday, his punter and place kicker, he really believes this young man, a Canadian national, is going to get a legitimate chance to kick in the NFL, and he has really shown a leg today. 140-yard field goal that would have gone 55.
Yeah.
And another 37-yarder that may have gone 60.
Well, how about in pregame warm-up? This guy was booming 65, 70-yarders.
Well, Barcelona down 10, a minute 48 to go. Kelly Holcomb is hung in there. And he throws deep, and it is, did he get it in bounds? Yes, he did. Intercepted. James Fuller.
You got to do the dance if you do the interception. Part of the contract.
Well, you had it going the other night.
It was in my contract anyway. Ball's off the tip. Great concentration. He stepped out, came back in. And really, there is no chance here. They're going to Alalampi here. Nice job by Fuller.
An acrobatic interception by Fuller, and the celebration on here in Edinburgh, Scotland. 1:41 left, a 10-point lead, and you see Barcelona. 3 of those 4 turnovers went directly to Claymore's points. Oh, now they're saying the ball is turned over. And Barcelona gets it right back.
Well, you talk about turnovers being key. You know, you go 70, 80 some odd plays a game and don't have a bad center quarterback exchange. And then in the most crucial moment, they have a mix-up.
Well, now Barcelona, led by Holcomb, right back on the field. A minute 38 left, down 10. And the catch is made. It's been a quiet day for Demetrius Davis. Clock will continue to run. Barcelona out of timeouts.
What's funny is that the Claymores don't even have their nickel personnel in the game. They're sitting in just regular defense.
Catch made far side. Terrific tackle by Williams to keep Browning inbound. First down yardage, but the clock down to a minute.
I'm wondering at what point, and they can't, Ray Wilsey, the defensive coordinator for Scotland, can't make a substitution.
Well, Holcomb spikes it into the ground to stop the clock with 53 seconds left.
They got bad matchups out there on the field. They've got just 4 defensive. Okay, there they go right now. Finally, Wilsey's able to get on in. That is an argument, I guess, that a defensive coordinator would have against the 35-second clock, especially with an up-tempo, up-paced offense like Barcelona. For the last 3 plays, Ray Wilsey could not get his nickel personnel in a key situation.
Holcomb throws across the middle. Pass batted down again by Fuller. He's been all over the field.
Yep, and there's the difference right there when you get your nickel people in the game. It's a matter of matchups. It's like basketball. Linebackers on wide receivers don't work real well. Corners on wide receivers work better.
Scotland will go to 2-0. Barcelona will fall to 1-1. Both teams winning in overtime last weekend. Holcomb on a 3rd down and 10. And broken up again. This time by Marvin Goodwin. And Corey Duckett.
See, the dilemma now for Barcelona, they need to push this ball in the end zone. They got to take a shot here, obviously, 4th down. But going down the field here, they don't want inside routes. They don't want the ball caught inside. And that's exactly where their bread and butter has been with Demetrius Davis. The crossing routes inside, it's using too much time. They got to go to the end zone here.
4th and 10, ball at the 20. Final hope for Barcelona. And down goes Holcomb. Troy Ridgely.
Are you going to take a knee? Thank you.
Big day for George Coghill in this stingy Claymore's defense. Gave up 21 points in the first half last week to London, but 2 of those were a direct result of a turnover.
Right. Oh, it's all about turnovers. That's what it's about. You look at Barcelona last year, they were +7 in the giveaway takeaway ratio. That's pretty darn good. You'll find your top NFL teams in +7 ratio. Right now, coming into this game, they were -4. And they're even farther down after today.
Jim Conyers celebrating his defense. Allows not much at all to the high-octane Dragon offense today.
Thank you. Good job, you guys.
Long day, meanwhile, for Jack Bicknell's Dragons. Claymore's, led by Steve Matthews, go to 2-0. And the Dragons even their record to 1-1. Well, those that have decided to stay around here in these cold conditions in Edinburgh, Scotland. And
like you.
Cold. Oh, boy. Certainly have enjoyed their day.
But how about this stadium? Is this not one of the nicest stadiums you've ever been in? I tell you, look at that. That's a great shot. We talked about this coming in. Beautiful stadium.
Really is. And they sell out still over here for soccer games and rugby matches and so forth. But we're seeing unbelievable attendance for the World League everywhere. This is an improvement for Scotland today. A crowd in the neighborhood of about 20,000. But even if you put 20 or 25,000 in a 67,000 seat stadium, it's going to look rather empty. We had 32,000 last week in Dusseldorf, and it was nearly packed.
Exactly. Well, Matthew's so impressive today. I think able to, for the most part, eliminate the real dumb mistakes like he made last week, as he admitted himself. But again, getting Saran Stacey involved in the game from the get-go, that quells that Barcelona rush a little bit.
And I think you really have to talk about Ron more than anything else. The defense of this Scottish team. They did not allow a point in the entire second half last week to London, and here only 13 against Barcelona today.
And really, if you take out that big play with Kenny Shedd, I don't know what kind of game we have here coming down the stretch. I don't think it's going to be this close. I tell you, the fans that were here sure raised a lot of commotion.
Sure did. And,
the guys down there with the kilts on dancing around.
You know, that is a very good look, and one which maybe you ought to bring back to America.
I was thinking about that.
In your home of Los Angeles. Steve Matthews enjoying some of the celebration out on the field with his teammates. Matthews, a terrific bounce-back game after getting intercepted 4 times in a winning effort last week.
You talk about Saran Stacey again. It's hard to believe he only had 55 yards rushing, but you look at his receiving, 16 yards. Seemed like he did a lot more than that, you know. And he's the kind of guy you go in at halftime as well as before the game and you game plan against. So you talk about impact player. What's an impact guy? An impact guy to me is a guy who you sit home on Monday nights, Tuesday nights, 11 o'clock if you're a coach, and you wonder, how do you stop this guy?
Boy, that's not a good sign
that's
right
not
there.
a good sign at all. That's Ty Parton.
Parton being helped off the field. Came over here after spending the last 3 seasons with the Cincinnati Bengals. And we can only hope that it's nothing serious.
Taking a look at the allocated guys there. LaChapelle has done a lot for himself the last 2 weeks.
And that offensive line, the members you brought up earlier,
Yeah.
Bart and Zeno did a good job today.
Especially Bart. You know, with the run blocking, very, very impressive there. And, you know, I've always said, going back to LaChapelle, I've always said that if he can't make it in the league as a receiver, I think if you put some pounds on him, 10 pounds or so, he might be a tight end in the NFL. The way offenses play now, he's just got that kind of tight end feel and that tight end savvy.
You know, it kind of gets back to some of the things we were talking about as you look at the rest of the Scottish Claymore's offensive allocated players. We had a long discussion with Jack Picknell, and he said right away, he said, look, I've never coached in the NFL, so it might be a little bit unfair of me to say. But a lot like baseball, and you hear so many people talk about on a radar gun, how hard does a pitcher throw? How fast does a runner get from home to first? Maybe some of the ways that they're judging talent in the NFL these days, you brought up earlier. You can't judge heart, and whether or not a guy simply can just get the job done despite all the odds.
That's it. And a guy is going to get a ton of money based on what round he went yesterday and today. And he's going to get all the chances.
Right, maybe on camera 5 on this gun mic.
But they won't know if he can play until the whistle's blown and he's out there at a corner position, at an offensive lineman position, at a quarterback position when the chips are down. And people better start realizing that.
Well, you look at the standings after the second week of World League action. The only remaining unbeaten teams, these Claymores, and the defending World Bowl champions under Ernie Stutner, who celebrated his 71st birthday yesterday with a big win. The Galaxy now at 2-0. You see Barcelona slipping to 1-1 along with Amsterdam. And the Monarchs and Rheinfire remain winless. But, you know, Ronnie, I think you hit on a key word, and a lot of fans may not know exactly how the NFL process exactly works, but if you're a #1 pick or a #2 pick, maybe even a third-round guy, you get a lot more money than those obviously down the track a bit. But you said the key word, chances.
Chances.
Looks.
That's right.
Reps in training camp and mini camp.
And just as a guy like Saron Stacy can't get another look to save his life seemingly, even though he's productive as all get out in this league over here, the same thing will happen to a first-rounder who is going the wrong way, who does get in trouble off the field, who hasn't put up any numbers, who isn't producing. He will get chance after chance after chance after chance. And I really think that people now are starting to realize that. I know some people in the scouting department, you know, some coaches, they want production. They want production like that. They want touchdowns. They want wins.
Saran Stacy getting out of Alabama, then was the second all-time leading rusher. We showed you earlier, he slipped down to #3 after the graduation of David Palmer, who is now with the Minnesota Vikings.
Yeah.
But Stacy told us yesterday, he said, I'll be upfront and honest. I had some problems off the field coming out of college. He said, I'm not going to deny it.
Right.
He said, but then again, he said they were nothing like going to jail.
Yeah.
They were nothing
I'm not
like
a criminal.
Right. He said he didn't commit any crimes. He said he just had a few problems. He said, and again, I'll admit it. But that was 4 years ago. He's now 26 years old. Has been a model citizen under here. Jim Kreiner told us, and he's just hoping, like many of these players, he's not unique, but he's hoping just for one more shot at it.
And then you bring up a good point, too, the maturity factor. You look at a guy like, let's take a guy like Marvin Goodwin, who came out of UCLA early, all kinds of talent. And those guys will be the first to admit that when you get to the NFL, it's a different world. You don't have the coaches there to hold your hand. You don't have anybody to direct you and to tell you what's next and to plan your agenda for you. You've got to do it. And even Wagner, Keith Wagner, offensive lineman for the Claymores, he said, I wasn't prepared to come into the league when I came in and study film. I didn't know what film was. Film didn't mean I could always just go out there and play. And you got to sit in that meeting room and spend the hours and be disciplined and put your priorities in line.
Well, the Claymores win today, 23-13, and we understand that well, we're waiting and standing by with the Claymores quarterback, Steve Matthews. You know, it was interesting a little while ago or yesterday when we were talking with Keith Wagner and getting back to that name for a moment.
Yeah.
Talked about he's allocated now by the Washington Redskins. But, Ronnie, how about the story he told us being around Barry Switzer and, more importantly, the veteran offensive lineman, Kennard and Nate Newton and some of those fellows in Dallas, and what he learned from them about what it takes to play in the NFL. Number one, toughness.
Yeah, you know, when you're around those guys, he said, they don't give you any slack, and they don't tolerate any kind of losing mentality, attitude, anything that's in that direction. And not only is it amongst the players, he said, you should have heard the way the fans were giving the coaches, Barry Switzer just on board, new there, giving him all kind of razz from the sidelines and everything. I mean, that's what it's all about. Guys know how to win. You learn how to win. You're around winners, maturity. And that's what this league is helping people do. It's helping them mature if they don't have that and become better football players.
Well, some of the numbers a bit misleading because of the Dragons' passing yards near the end of the game. Holcomb picking up a few more after, by and large, it had been decided. But the turnovers, 5 of them for Barcelona today. And the first 2, the most deadly. It led to an early 10-0 Scottish lead.
I don't doubt that this is not a passing league, but Barcelona has to do a little bit better job of running the football, only 13 yards rushing. This is LaChapelle. We talked about him at the top. We said he was the go-to guy for a quarterback who seemingly struggled a little bit last week, who did struggle last week. And LaChapelle is exhibiting all those qualities that he needs to show to get back into the NFL. We saw him catch touchdown passes. We saw him catch hard passes. We saw him block. You know, he's doing it all. He's running the gambit. He's showing that I still have the qualities that I had when I left UCLA highly touted.
Well, you know that LaChapelle and Matthews, both allocated from Kansas City, hope that touchdown combination will take place one day at Arrowhead Stadium in front of a full house in the National Football League. We thank our producer, Keith Kelly, our director, Ken Fouts, Greg Scopatoni, our entire Fox crew. For Ron Pitts, I'm Tom Brenneman saying thanks so much for being with us so long from Edinburgh, Scotland.